into Module 2, Lesson 2. And I pulled it up off of Blackboard here on the screen. And you'll notice that here are the lesson objectives. And I'm not going to read all of these to you. I just want to point out a couple of things. You're going to calculate a one sample t-test. And that's not going to be very difficult to do because you're going to follow directions in one of the videos here, your to-do list. And I will point out that here's the text for Chapter 2, and this is the last time we can display the text for you. If you don't have the textbook by now, you really need to get it because I won't be able to do this again, give you the text. Here are the videos that you're going to look at. Do those in order. One's working in SPSS. This is just for you to become familiar with the software program and how to name variables. We're going to do that. What are the characteristics of variables, and just working in the SPSS environment. We're really not going to, for part of this exercise, we're really not going to be calculating anything except when you get to the last piece, you will calculate a one sample t-test. Okay, in Module 2, let's talk about the assignment because that's where we're going with this. Notice here's a file up here you're going to use. It's called height. You're going to use that in your one sample t-test. You'll need that. Part 1, you're going to do the textbook exercises, 2, 4, and 6. And they follow a pattern. And I'm going to show you that pattern here in just a minute. But added exercise, that's the thing I want to talk with you about right now. The added exercise, number 1. We're going to build off of what we did in Module 1 to do that. Then when you come down here to added exercise number 2, that's pretty simple. You just define these terms. You can Google these, look them up, do whatever you want, get them out of your textbook. Just make sure you cite your source. I don't care where they come from. And then there's another third exercise. And this is single sample t-test. And this is where you're going to need that data set up there. It says the average height of males in the U.S. is 5'9". We want to know if the average height of the A-State men's basketball team, 20 players, is significantly different, probability less than 0.05, from the average U.S. men's height in general. And so after you watch the video and process that data, you will have an answer for that. You're going to do a single sample t-test. Now, what you'll need to do here is you're going to write the null hypothesis for this situation. You're going to run the calculation for the single sample t-test. Then you're going to copy and paste that into a Word document. And then you're going to write the appropriate response for the outcome. And you'll notice how you write the appropriate response. You can look on page 62 of Cronk's book, and it will show you how to write up. I call it a write-up. Your text calls it an abstract, how you write up the results of a single sample t-test. So this is starting off pretty simply. A single sample t-test is where you take your data, look at it, and compare it against a known standard. And in this case, the known standard is 5'9". So that's not going to be difficult to do. And then this tells you down here how to submit your work. Let's go back though and look at added exercise 1. It says, for the added exercise of the previous module, develop a code book, then establish the variables in the variable view screen, and then enter your fictitious data in the data view screen. Then to check your work, produce a variable list. I'll show you what all this means in a minute. Click on Analyze Reports, Code Book, as done in the homework. That's the textbook. It shows you how to do that. Now, let's go ahead and go to that next. Let's see, what am I on here? Here we go. Here we go. Let's start with this. Now this is the response. This first part is the response to your homework of lesson 1. And you've already done this and turned it in. As a matter of fact, I sent you this little thing here showing you how I did mine. This is mine again. In this exercise in module 1, you were supposed to make up a situation that you observe in a school or something, and tell how you were going to resolve the issue statistically. In other words, state the research question, identify the control and experimental groups, explain how you would randomly assign participants to groups, state the hypotheses, and discuss the criteria for accepting. And if you will recall, and you watched that video, you see this is what I proposed, that students that eat lunch in the cafeteria will perform better on the semester exam in algebra class than student who do, than students who do not eat in the cafeteria. My research question, will students that eat lunch in the cafeteria score significantly differently on the semester exam in algebra than the group not eating in the cafeteria? And you remember I said we'll use significantly differently. We will not point to a direction, because we're going to use the 0.05 level at two-tailed tests. We can either be significantly greater or significantly less than. That's what the meaning of a two-tailed test is. The controlled and experimental groups, in our case, the one that I'm doing here, I don't know what yours is, but you do. The control group will not eat in the cafeteria. The treatment group consists of students that do eat in the cafeteria. Assignment to the control and treatment groups will randomly select algebra students that eat or do not eat in the cafeteria by putting their names in a hat and pulling out an equivalent size sample of each. And I think I suggested I would do 10 for each one, so I'll have 20 respondents. The hypotheses are students that eat in the cafeteria will not score significantly different on the algebra midterm than those that do not eat in the cafeteria. Students that eat in the cafeteria will score significantly differently. And then the criteria for rejecting the hypotheses after the midterm, gather the student scores and analyze them. And then we'll talk about that analysis. We're really not going to run it through a statistical test, but these are the steps that you would take. But now let's get into module 2, the lesson you're going to start this week. For module 2, we're asked to do this. For the added exercise of lesson 1, the one up there, develop first a code book, and I'll show you how to do that. Then establish the variables in the variable view screen, and then enter your fictitious data on the third data view screen. First, the code book. Code book is how you define your variables, what you're going to do. This will mean more to you after you see the video on this, but variable 1, eat in the cafeteria or not. Definition, student eats in the cafeteria. Type, it's categorical. You either eat in the cafeteria or you don't. And it's normal in SPSS. You don't have to do this, but we use 1 for yes and 0 for no. You could use 1 and 2. It doesn't matter, but that's the code we're going to give it. The other variable, that's categorical because it's yes or no. Variable is exam grade. Well, that's the midterm exam grade. What kind of variable is it? It's continuous, because on that, let's assume it's 100 points. A student can make 20, 30, 35, 40, 100, whatever. So it's considered a continuous variable. Now, in the variable view, when you get into your SPSS program in variable view, you're going to pull this up, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute. You're going to set this data up, eat in the cafeteria and exam grade. Those are going to be the names of your variables. And notice over here you see that 0 no. Well, I'll show you how that happened in a moment, but we have to pick that, select that, and it's nominal variable. It doesn't have any order or anything else. It's just yes and no. It's nominal. The exam grade is a scale variable because it's continuous. So we have a nominal variable and a scale variable. I made up fictitious data. I just took a data table I made for myself And I listed 20 folks in here. I got 10 of each. Those that eat in the cafeteria and those that don't, I have 10 each. And here are their exam grades. Just made these things up out of the blue. Then the third thing you do is put the data in the data view screen. So you go back to SPSS and you enter this data in your SPSS screen. Normally, you probably wouldn't have to make this. You might scratch it out on a piece of paper and then put it in here, but you've got to have it. Look, I've got 1 for yes and 0 for no, and I'll talk to you more about that in a minute. Here's these same grades up here. If you'll see, they start with 80 and go down to 94. 80 down to 94. Yes, yes, no, yes, people eat in the cafeteria. Then fourth, to check your work, produce a variable list. Click on the Analyze, Reports, Codebook, and it'll show you how to do that. And then you're going to come up with these tables right here. Eat in the cafeteria, standard attributes. Label, none. I didn't put an extra label on it. Type, numeric, format, F8. They give it 8 places. Its measurement is ordinal. Actually, it's nominal. I might have had that in the ordinal when I first did that, but that should come out nominal when I do that. I made a mistake earlier and had that in ordinal. But the exam grade is a measurement is scale because it's a continuous variable. So that's how that is done. Now let me go to the next thing here. Let's go to this, and let's name the variables. This is something you're going to do. And to name the variable, the first one is going to be eat cafeteria. Okay, now you notice I put eat underscore cafeteria. Now it'll fill this out for me. Numeric, I don't want any decimal places, so I'm going to put that to 0. And it's not going to be a scale variable. It's going to be a nominal variable. And I think that's all I'm going to need to do to that. And then down here, we're going to have exam grade. And I could go over here and put in a label. I could put those again, but I don't need to. It's okay there. That's a scale variable. Again, we're not going to have any decimal places in this either. I don't know what that little red line is through there, but we got to get rid of that. Yeah, I got that to 0. I hope you don't have that on yours. Okay. Now that's in variable view. That's where we've got that. Now we'll go to data view. Now again, you're going to get to see some activity on this, so you won't have a problem as you start putting in eats in the cafeteria. Well, I'm going to put the first one was a 1. The next one down here was a 1. And I think the next one was a 0 because that was no. I'm going to have to go back and get that data again. Let's see, where was that? I'm going to move this over here on another screen, and you won't be able to see it over here, but I'll have it over here, and I'll just bring that data over here and put all that data in there. And as a matter of fact, I can do it this way. I'm going to copy this over here since I've already got it. I think I can copy this and go down to number 20 here, and I can go with paste. Well, I thought I could. I don't guess I can. So anyway, 1, 0. The exam grade is 80 in the first one. And in the second one, the exam grade was 90. And then 79. Now I can put those in there. I'm pretty sure I can put those in there. Let's try that. I'm going to try that one. Let me go over here and grab it. When I learn how to use this a little better,